Why you have such a...
Guys,
Wait, that's it.
No money.
Oh dear.
No.
Good. Go ahead. Go, you go. Good boy. Yeah, well done. Yeah, tractor. Good job. Well done, Kojo. Where do you want to sit? You sit with Kojo. You sit? You want to sit with Kojo? Huh? Yeah, go on then. And I'll sit here. Or should I sit in front? I can get you guys. Let him go inside, but then it's easier. Could you move up? Sit this way.
right.
Could you?
Right, off we go.
We go. We've got much to do.
Yeah, we're alright, aren't we? Nothing to worry about. Okay, off we go. As I say, stay sat down and go to watch my football bar. We'll do about 20 minutes to get around over the summer. The summer, you see, it's certainly this summer, everything's like a desert out. We could actually do with a little bit more rain now, it's getting a bit silly. Well, good work of making hay though. What we were doing at the beginning of the month, making lots of hay out of all this grass. A lot of our fields are very stubbornly turned all into hay bales. We make hay while the sun shines. And we make hay for the animals now in the summer to feed them in the winter.
You'll be fine.
Couple of months old, that is. Replacing our old double trailer that we had running on the farm for about 30 years. So we got our money out of that one. It's the same out of this one here. We've got a brand new building that we're building in opposite reception there. As we came through reception, you'll have seen it straight in front of you. That's hopefully going to be open in September, and that's a new play barn. That is, it's got a slide pedal tractors to expand the width of the barn. It's absolutely huge. The kids are going to love that. Got some piggies here on the right. These are girl piggies. About 5 months old or so, 5 or 6 months old. These pigs. Little huts they've got. They were racers today. Alright, have a race. That's their wallow there. Needs a bit more water in it. Need to fill that up. So there's 15 rams in that here, I think. So about that. 15 rams. They're the dads of all the lambs that we have born throughout the year. We lamb twice a year at Rose Farm. We lamb in the winter and spring. So in January and April. Sort of 300 ewes we have, and there's just 15 rams, so they're busy boys. They've earned their rest now, though, it's time. There they are, their little faces. They got a really nice swimming pool, there it is. Look, there's a 1 or 2 let in their swimming pool here, look. I'll slow down, you can all see them. Look at that. Look at that muddy puddle that they've all rolled around in. That's the only way a pig can cool down when it gets hot, is to roll around in muddy puddles. They can't sweat, you see. We sweat when we get hot and the breeze pulls us out. Pigs can't sweat, they can only regulate the temperature by rolling around in water and in puddles. And all the mud they get on themselves actually helps stop them getting sunburned as well. They're supposed to that by the back of their ears. Again, these are all girls then. We keep our boys and our girls separate for obvious reasons. We're going to pass the boys shortly. They're going to be on the left again, the boys, in a bit. And over on the left is just one of the stubble fields here. These are one of the fields we made hay out of. So to make hay you need the grass to be dry. So you need a nice dry week of weather, which hasn't been too hard to find lately. So say, as having it's rained once this month. So yeah, you wait for a dry week and you cut the grass with a topper, and then you use a machine called a tedder afterwards that you pull with a tractor. That spins the grass, just takes a rotting bale at the bottom of a stack of dry bales to catch light, self-combust, and next minute you've got your barns on fire. It do get hot. Update. They're on the left now. Whoop. Hopefully round here. On the left now, this is another mucky, just a small mucky. We keep all of the poo and weed from the cows, sheep and pigs. And then we put it in a big heap like that. We let it rot for 3 years and then we spread it all over our fields. It helps the crops grow. You can always tell when it's muck spreading day. You can smell it wherever you are on site. So of course the most important thing for crops other than sunlight is water. And as I say, we do need some rain. And I don't understand that, the most simplest plant is a blade of grass and that's suffering, whereas you've got things like nettles here and thistles are just thriving right now, despite the lack of rain. I make stinger nettle soup using the nettle leaves. You can make teas as well out of nettles. I do a lot of cooking using wild ingredients. Got me an Instagram page. Stinger nettle leaves, you need potato stock, leeks, cream, but what you don't know is a bit chicken stock in it. You're absolutely nuts afterwards. Such a buzz of energy afterwards. These are the boys, these are. These are the the brothers really, of all the other things in the front half. They're meant to be split into two heads. Hence the fence in the middle. So you can see that if you look down in the corner here, they broke through the fence. So now they're all mixed up. Well, we're going to keep them like that. We can't be bothered to separate them now. Show them that. And there wallows right down the far end of the field. Now round. And that's because it floods a lot round here. The water can get as high as where your feet are. All down the river is this invasive species of plants. This pink one here called Himalayan balsam. Now this is the river then on the left, the River Cole. C-O-L-E, River Cole. 25-mile stretch of river that feeds into the Thames. It's the border of the farm and it's also the boundary between Wiltshire and Oxfordshire. This side's Wiltshire. There are lots of butterflies down here.
What? For you? What?
News at Easter Land. Looking very sparkling now, they've been shorn. Now that was a fun day, the day we shorn the sheep. That was at the end of June, that was the hottest day of the year we decided to do that. Just the way we had the Shearer book, just so happened to fall on that Thursday when all the schools closed and so hot. We closed as a visitor centre up to 37 or 38 degrees, something like that. Anyway, that was the day we shorn 200 to 300 sheep. And they're not licensed animals, you can imagine. And, you know, they're made out of wool. It's a hot job. There's no money in wool anymore, guys. There's no money at all. You actually make a loss. It's £1.60 to shear a sheep, and you sell their fleece for 40p each. So you actually shear them at a £1.20 loss. So we want for welfare reasons, there's maybe no point shearing sheep anymore. I mean, they look smart at least. Yeah, the sheep in this country are very hardy, and they have to be to withstand our wet weather that we have and our cold winters and stuff. So they're always quite coarse, so it's not the best for making clothes out of anyway. It's not used for insulation, anyway. Upholsteries and stuff, mattresses. They're not a dairy breed. Of course they do produce milk, but they don't produce enough to sustain a dairy farm, not like the Friesians, the black and white ones, and the Jerseys. These are bred for their beef, steak and burgers, these cows. This is a horrible plant, there's a point up for that yellow one just there, we're just going past. That's called ragwort. That's horrible, that stuff. A bouquet of that is enough to kill a cow. Most of the time the animals eat round it, so they've got a nice taste. So at least it warms you. But the problem comes when it comes to making hay. If we get ragwort in the hay, it loses its taste when it's dried, but still retains its toxicity. We had a dodgy male once that took out Pet's Corner. It's horrible stuff, ragwort. Horrible name as well, ragwort. That's something you call your mother-in-law, ragwort. But you see the tree over there on the right, the other side of the bush? It looks like one of those, has some googly eyes on it. And it's really cool, that tree. That's an oak tree, that is. 200 years old, we reckon, that tree. So there it is, can you see it? It looks like it's got arms. It's got a run at us. Oak trees can live for centuries, a millennium even. There's an oak tree in Savannah Forest, and by under their own weight, that's how they meet their demise. Poplars are prone to that. They only branch out at the top. Whereas Mo will take you all the way around the back of those trees and past the pigs and then back up this side of the brook. So it's a good half an hour walk. And last month we finished our obstacle courses that we've installed around there. So that's part of it. But there's also other things you'll come across. You'll come across some monkey bars, balance beams, stepping stones, that sort of thing. It's a nice walk, particularly on a day like today.
Is he alright to go down? You're alright to go down?